My friends, this world does not reward wishful thinkers. It rewards those who act with intention, speak with certainty, and move with power. If you want to change your life, there is something you must do. Every single morning, you must begin with silence, not the silence of defeat, but the silence of command. In that quiet, you seize control of your thoughts before the world seizes them for you. You breathe not just to survive, but to prepare for battle. Then you speak your mission, not a vague hope, not a someday dream, but a definite purpose. Say it out loud, make it real. A man or woman without a definite purpose is like a ship without a rudder, doomed to drift. But the moment you declare your aim, you send a signal to your subconscious. This is where I am going. Nothing will stop me. And now you must see it. Close your eyes and see the life you're building. See the home, the freedom, the impact. Your imagination, when directed, is the workshop of creation. What you vividly imagine, you begin to move toward. That image becomes your blueprint, and your actions begin to shape it into fact. Before you race into the world, pause. Grab a pen. Write down 3 victories from yesterday, no matter how small. Each one is proof that you are not who you were. You are growing, moving, becoming. Gratitude is the fuel of the persistent. And now, speak power into your day. Say this: I am responsible, I am capable, I am no longer waiting. Because, my friend, every time you affirm your power, you weaken your fear. Speak it until it becomes your truth. Finally, take action. Not someday, not later. Now, strike the first blow, make the call, write the page. Record the video, send the message. Action is the great separator. The world belongs to those who move. Do this every morning and your life will not change by accident. It will change by design. Decide, declare, visualize, give thanks. Affirm, act, and watch the world shift beneath your feet. Every morning, before the noise of the world finds you, before the messages, the headlines, the endless flood of information, you must claim a moment of intentional silence, not as an escape, but as a strategy. This silence is not empty, it is full of purpose. It is the most powerful few minutes you will spend all day, because it is in this stillness that you gain mastery over your mind. You see, most people wake up and immediately react. They reach for their phones, they scroll, they compare, they worry. Before they've even left their bed, their mind is no longer their own. It's been hijacked by the world's agenda. But you are not most people. You are here to build something greater, and greatness begins not in chaos, but in quiet. In this silence, you are training the mind to obey you. You are declaring, I control my thoughts. I choose how this day will begin. You're not suppressing your thoughts. You're observing them, then letting them pass. In doing so, you remove the static. You tune into a frequency of clarity, of focus, of power. You begin to understand that your thoughts do not define you. You define them. Intentional silence might be 5 minutes of sitting still. It might be a slow, conscious breath repeated over and over until your heartbeat calms. It might be prayer, meditation, or simply looking out the window and choosing to be fully present. What matters is the deliberate decision to pause, to listen, and to not react. Because this moment of non-reaction is where your discipline is forged. It's in this silence that you can ask yourself the right questions. What matters today? Who do I want to be when challenges come? What would the strongest version of me do first? These questions do not arise in the rush of morning routine or the noise of news feeds. They come only in the quiet. And here's the truth. If you cannot rule your mornings, you will not rule your life. Because how you start sets the tone for everything that follows. The mind left untamed will wander to fear, to doubt, to excuses. But when you take command in silence, you program the mind for strength, for intention, for victory. You are not avoiding the world, you are preparing to lead it. Do not underestimate the power of stillness. In the quiet, legends are born. In the silence, destinies are written. Make it a ritual, make it sacred. And do it before the world has a chance to shape you. Because when you shape your morning, you shape your future. Each morning, once your mind has been calmed in silence, and you have reclaimed control over your thoughts, the next step is to speak your definite purpose aloud. Not in a whisper, not in uncertainty, but with clarity and conviction. This is not some casual affirmation or vague intention. This is your mission. This is the reason you rise, the reason you fight, the reason you refuse to settle. When you speak your purpose out loud, you are declaring war on hesitation. You are drawing a line in the sand between who you were and who you are becoming. A drifting mind produces a drifting life. But a focused mind, anchored by a clear, spoken purpose, moves with direction, with certainty, and with power. You must define it clearly. Not, I want to be successful. But what kind of success? Not, I want to be happy. But what creates happiness for you? The mind responds to specifics. When you say, I will build a business that creates freedom for my family, or I will become a person of strength, integrity, and leadership, or I will publish my book and impact millions, your words begin to reshape your reality. There is something deeply powerful about speaking your purpose into the air. It triggers belief. It conditions your subconscious to look for opportunities aligned with that purpose. It reminds you that this is not a hobby or a maybe. It's a mission. People who whisper their dreams often let them die, but those who declare them bring them to life. And this is not for anyone else. You're not saying it to impress. You're saying it to imprint. Each time you speak it, you reinforce it. You give yourself a standard to live by. You give your day a compass. Because when distractions come, and they will, your purpose, spoken and known, will bring you back to center. Over time, your words become your world. They are not just sounds. They are commands to your brain, to your body, to your spirit. And if you speak them daily, they begin to override the old programming of doubt and failure. You rewire yourself for purpose-driven action. You no longer wait for motivation. You've already given the order. Say it every morning. Let it be the first thing that defines your day, even if your voice shakes at first. Even if it feels awkward, you are creating a new rhythm, a new identity, and that begins with consistent declaration. You cannot hit a target you haven't named. So name it, speak it, and then live in alignment with it. This is how you stop drifting. This is how you start dominating. After you have spoken your purpose into the day, your next move is to visualize the life you are building. Not in theory, not in vague hopes, but in vivid detail. You must close your eyes and see it. See it so clearly that it begins to feel more real than your current circumstances. Because before anything becomes physical, it first exists in the mind. Every invention, every breakthrough, every empire began as an idea fully imagined by someone who refused to let it remain a dream. When you visualize the life you desire, you are not pretending. You are practicing. You are rehearsing the future you are creating. And the mind, in its brilliance, does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is experienced in reality. That means when you repeatedly visualize your goals, your home, your career, your health, your relationships, you are training your subconscious to believe it's possible. And once the mind believes something is possible, it begins to find ways to make it happen. You must not rush this. Sit with the vision. See the details. What do your mornings look like? What kind of work are you doing? How do you carry yourself? Who is beside you? What does peace feel like? What does success sound like? Immerse yourself in the sights, sounds, emotions, and energy of the future you are designing. Feel the pride. Feel the joy. Feel the confidence. That feeling is not fantasy. It is a preview of what is coming if you do not quit. This is not about delusion. It is about direction. When you focus your imagination on the life you want, not the problems you fear, you begin to magnetize your actions. Your daily choices start aligning with that vision. You stop wasting energy on things that don't match your future because you've already seen where you're going. People who cannot see the life they want will settle for the life they have. But you are doing something different. Visualization is not magic. It doesn't replace hard work, but it fuels it. It gives purpose to your hustle and reason to your resilience. Athletes do this before championships. Leaders do this before major decisions. Visionaries do this every day. Why? Because what you focus on expands. And if you continually focus on lack, struggle, or what's wrong, you will only reinforce it. But if you focus on the life you're building, on what's possible, on what's within reach, you give power to it. Make it a daily ritual. Just 5 minutes. See it, feel it, live it internally until it becomes your external reality. You are not just reacting to life. You are creating it. And the blueprint lives in your mind. Your job each morning is to return to that blueprint, strengthen it, and then build toward it with relentless action. What you visualize, you internalize. What you internalize, you pursue. And what you pursue with clarity and conviction, you will one day possess. Every morning after you've claimed your silence, spoken your purpose, and visualized your future, you must ground yourself in proof. Proof that you are moving forward. That proof comes in the form of writing down 3 wins. Not dreams, not goals, wins. Things you did, actions you took, progress you made. This habit is not about ego, it's about momentum. Because when you acknowledge even the smallest victories, you reinforce belief. And belief is the engine behind all success. Most people focus only on how far they have to go. They wake up already feeling behind, already feeling overwhelmed. But when you stop and recognize the ground you've already covered, you shift your energy. You no longer feel like someone who's struggling to start. You begin to feel like someone who's already on the move. Your 3 wins can be anything. Maybe you kept your promise to yourself and worked out. Maybe you had a tough conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe you wrote a page, made a call, kept your cool, drank water instead of soda, or simply chose not to give up yesterday when things got hard. Don't overlook them because they seem small. It's the collection of small wins that becomes the foundation of massive transformation. Writing them down solidifies them. It turns a passing thought into a permanent reminder I'm doing the work. I'm not who I used to be. I am growing. This builds self-trust, and when you trust yourself to act, to follow through, to keep showing up, you become unstoppable. Confidence doesn't come from pretending you have it all together. It comes from stacking real evidence that you're becoming better. It's also a defense against the negativity that creeps in. When self-doubt shows up, and it will, you'll have a written record that says, no, I am progressing, I am capable. You create a pattern of positivity rooted in action. You stop needing validation from others because you've given it to yourself through your own behavior. And over time, this simple act changes how you see the world. Instead of scanning for problems, you begin to look for wins. You live each day thinking, what can I do today that I'll be proud to write down tomorrow? That mindset creates focus. It makes you more intentional. It makes you more powerful. This practice doesn't take long, just a few minutes each morning. But its impact is far-reaching. It builds the habit of gratitude without softness, of self-recognition without arrogance. It reminds you that you don't need to have the whole path figured out. You just need to win the day. And if you can win today, and again tomorrow, and again the next day, success stops being a possibility and becomes a pattern. Each morning, after you've aligned your mind in silence, spoken your purpose, visualized your future, and written your wins, there is one more thing you must do before you face the world. Affirm your power and your responsibility. Say it out loud. Look yourself in the mirror if you have to. This is not about hype, it's about identity. You are not powerless. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are not here to drift, to wait, or to hope things somehow get better. You are the one who decides. You are the one who acts. And you are the one who will change your life, not someday, but starting today. Affirmations are more than words. When repeated with belief, they become commands to the subconscious. And your subconscious, once convinced, will lead your actions, your energy, and your focus. This is why your affirmations must be rooted in truth, not fantasy. Not, I hope I get better, but I am capable of getting better every day. Not, maybe I can do this, but I am fully responsible for my life, and I am ready to lead it. The power comes from the responsibility. When you declare that you are the one who shapes your habits, your mindset, your energy, your results, you take the wheel. Most people give that power away, to the economy, to their boss, to their past, to other people's opinions. But not you. You affirm every morning, I am in control of how I respond. I am in control of how I show up. I am in control of what I do next. Don't wait until you feel powerful. That feeling comes after action, not before. Say it anyway. Say it when you're tired. Say it when you're unsure. Say it when no one else believes in you. The act of speaking those words is what begins to build the feeling. It is a decision to rise instead of retreat. You're not affirming perfection. You're affirming ownership, because the moment you accept full responsibility for your life is the moment everything begins to change. And these affirmations aren't just for the good days. They're for the hard ones, the days when you want to quit, the days when fear tries to take over, the days when progress feels slow. That's when you say, I will not stop. I am not finished. I am capable of more. I will not let comfort decide my future. These are the declarations that shape character. These are the thoughts that carve out a new identity, one that matches your purpose. Do not underestimate the impact of speaking to yourself with power and precision. The world will try to label you. Doubt will try to define you. But if you make it a habit to define yourself every morning, with clarity, courage, and commitment, you begin each day on the offense, not defense. You enter the world already knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you will not accept. Every morning, you must remind yourself, I am powerful. I am responsible. I do not wait. I move. I do not wish. I work. I do not fear. I face forward. Let those words shape you. Let them drive you. And then let your actions prove them true. After you've aligned your mind, your purpose, your vision, and your inner power, there is one final step that transforms your morning from preparation into momentum. Take one bold action early, not later, not after checking emails, not after scrolling through your phone. Early, before the world distracts you, before fear creeps in, before your energy begins to fade. This is where clarity becomes courage and where all your morning work turns into movement. A bold action doesn't have to be massive, but it must matter. It should challenge you. It should stretch you. It should move you closer to your vision. Maybe it's making that phone call you've been avoiding. Maybe it's sitting down to create something instead of consuming something. Maybe it's recording the video, writing the pitch, sending the email, launching the idea. Whatever it is, it must be the kind of action that makes you slightly uncomfortable, because that's how you know it's powerful. Most people spend their mornings reacting. They wait for motivation, they wait for perfect conditions, and in that waiting, they lose energy, they lose direction, they lose time. But when you take a bold action early, you flip the script. You go from passive to active. You set a tone for the entire day. You say to yourself and to the world, I'm not here to play small. I'm not here to wait. I move first. Early action builds confidence, not from words, but from proof. It tells your mind, I do hard things. I make things happen. I follow through. And the more consistently you do this, the more you begin to trust yourself. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect clarity. You need to act. Because action is the cure for overthinking. It breaks through hesitation. It replaces doubt with drive. You're not waiting for motivation. You're creating it. That first bold move becomes a domino. It sets momentum in motion. One action leads to another. And by the time most people are still trying to figure out what to do, you've already started doing it. This is how leaders are built. This is how entrepreneurs succeed. This is how transformations happen, not with more planning, but with bold execution. The people you admire, the ones who inspire you, the ones changing their lives, they're not sitting in indecision. They're doing things daily, boldly, early. So before your day fills with noise, before excuses can take hold, take that first bold step. Don't wait until you feel ready. Readiness is a myth. Boldness creates readiness. You don't become bold by thinking about it. You become bold by doing it. Every morning, ask yourself, what is one thing I can do today that moves me forward, even if it scares me? Then do that thing. Do it before your fear grows louder. Do it before comfort pulls you back. Do it while your mind is still aligned with your vision and your heart is still tuned to your purpose. That single early action, repeated day after day, has the power to reshape your entire life. It creates progress. It builds belief. And most importantly, it proves that you are not waiting for life to happen. You are building it one bold move at a time. So now you know the path. It begins in silence, where you reclaim your mind from the noise of the world. It moves to purpose, spoken aloud with clarity and conviction. It deepens with vision. As you see and feel the life you're building before it exists, it gains strength through recognition, writing down your wins, proving to yourself that progress is real. It roots itself in identity, as you affirm your power, your responsibility, and your refusal to let circumstances define your life. And finally, it ignites through action. A bold step, early and intentional, that tells the world you are not waiting, you are becoming. Do this every morning, and your life will change, not overnight, but inevitably, because transformation is not a one-time event. It's a daily decision. And when you repeat that decision, when you commit to these habits not as a trend, but as a way of life, you separate yourself from the masses. You become the architect of your future, the leader of your own mind, the one who doesn't just dream, but executes. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start and then stay consistent every morning with purpose, with discipline, with boldness. This is how people rise. This is how lives are changed. This is how you win. And it all starts tomorrow morning, unless you're bold enough to begin today.